Generation 2 introduced 100 brand new Pokemon, but the Johto Gym Leaders have teams consisting of 80% Kanto Pokemon. But what if they used more Pokemon of their own region and gave them an actual chance to players during a Johto playthrough? Here's how I would fix the Gym Leaders teams of the Johto region. We start off with the Flying type Gym Leader Falkner, who uses a Pidgey and Pidgeotto. If he's already going to use regional birds on his team, why not Hoothoot and Noctowl? Hoothoot and Noctowl would be better Pokemon because of the Johto regional birds found nearby and can only be found during night, which is thematic, since Johto introduced the day-night cycle into Pokemon. Noctowl being level 13 instead of evolving at level 20 wouldn't be that big of an issue since Gym Leaders often use under-leveled Pokemon anyway. Even his original Pidgeotto, which is well below its intended level. We then head to Bugsy, who uses Metapod, Kakuna, and Scyther. Since Bugsy is already using a weak Bug-type team, why not use Johto Bug-type Pokemon to represent the region? Two really good candidates would be Letterbell and Spinarak, two early-game Bug-type Pokemon that provide as much disappointment as Metapod and Kakuna. The one major change I would make is that Scyther would be replaced by Heracross. U-Turn Scyther is a Pokemon that provides excellent challenge for new players and veterans alike, although I would prefer a Johto Gym Leader using a Johto Pokemon. Enter Heracross, who is at a similar power level as Scyther and I believe should be Bugsy's new ace Pokemon. Mega Horn is his signature move but would be unreasonable for a second Gym Leader to have, so instead, he could use moves like Bug Bite to disrupt berry strategies or Fury Cutter for general damage. Most importantly, I would want him to give him the move Headbutt, since it teaches the player about headbutting trees for encounters, one of Johto's signature mechanics. Next up is the infamous Whitney fight. I actually think her team is well designed as is. The Clefairy fits her theme of cute pink normal type Pokemon before it was reclassified as Fairy, and her Miltank is Miltank. Though if I wanted to be more evil, I would change out the Clefairy with Dunsparce, who has Serene Grace as its new ability, and the moves Headbutt, Bite, Glare, and Ancient Power, for no particular reason. Next up is the Gym Leader Morty, who specializes in Ghost types. This is going to be difficult due to the extreme lack of Ghost-type Pokemon in the first two generations. Generation 1 only had Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, while Generation 2 only introduced Misdreavus. This doesn't leave a whole lot of room for team building. While not ideal, here's what I came up with the given options. Morty usually has a Ghastly, 2 Haunter, and a Gengar. It's odd that Johto introduced a single Ghost-type Pokemon and he doesn't even use it. Game Freak, you had one job. For my revamped team, Morty will use 2 Haunter, a Gengar, and replace the Ghastly with Misdreavus, since at this point in the game, a Ghastly should be evolved and I didn't want him to use 3 Haunter. We then cross the sea to face the Fighting type Gym Leader Chuck, who only uses 2 Pokemon, both Kanto Pokemon. For this brand new team, Chuck will now use Poliwrath, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, and Hitmontop as his new ace Pokemon. The Poliwrath I wanted to keep because his gym is right next to the sea. The Primate will be replaced by the Hitmon family so that Chuck can show off the new member of the family, Hitmontop, since Johto was a sequel to the Kanto region and this will show a continuation of the previous games. We then make our way back to Olivine City and the location of Jasmine's demonstrating. We then make our way back to Olivine City and the location of Jasmine's gym, demonstrating the new Steel type. I think her team has a good base to work on with a few minor changes. One of the Magnemite I would keep and evolve the other one into Magneton. Those two I am fine leaving on Jasmine's team since this is the generation that introduced the Steel type, where the Magnemite line had the Steel type retroactively added to them, and this would be a good way to show them off to the players. Then I would add Skarmory for difficulty since the Gym Leader at this point in the game should have more than 3 Pokemon. Skarmory would also prevent the player from mashing ground type moves, thanks to its flying type making it immune, so you can't just get away mindlessly mashing Earthquake. We then head to Pryce in the Ice type gym where he would have Seal, Dugong, and Piloswine. A 7th Gym Leader should have more than 3 Pokemon on their team at this point in the game. Ignore the fact that he only has 1 Johto Pokemon, and one of his party members isn't even an Ice type. What I would do is drop the Seal and add Jinx and Sneasel onto his team. I didn't want to add Cloyster or Lapras since Pryce already has a Water Ice type on his team, the Dugong, so Jinx was the next best option. I also added Sneasel since it's a late Johto Ice type that will be found relatively nearby and given a chance to show off the brand new Dark type Johto introduced. We finally make our way to the final gym leader, Claire. In Generation 2, she uses a team of 3 Dragonair and a Kingdra. Slightly less atrocious, she replaces one of the Dragonair with a Gyarados in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, though I think her team could be made better. As the final gym for Johto, I think she should have a team of 5 Pokemon, those being Dragonair, Gyarados, Lapras, Ampharos, and her King Astra, Ace Kingdra. Some of these choices may sound odd, but will make sense as I explain. While Lapras isn't a dragon type, I think it's draconian enough to at least fit on Claire's team thematically. It does share a lot of similarities with the Loch Ness Cryptid, which many believe to be some sort of modern living dinosaur. And the dragon type has often been used to represent dinosaur-like Pokemon. Plus, in Black and White 2, Champion Iris uses a Lapras on her team, which uses a lot of dinosaur-adjacent Pokemon that aren't dragon type, but could be considered dragon-like enough for her to use. If it's good enough for Iris, then I think it's good enough for Claire. And then there's the Ampharos, which I admit can be a bit of a stretch at first, but does make some sense. We first have to look at Ampharos' Japanese name, Tenryu, which can be translated to Electric Dragon. There is also the existence of Mega Ampharos that regains the dormant dragon type and is able to use more dragon type moves. Although during Generation 4, the only dragon type move he could actually learn was Outrage. It wasn't until X and Y and Mega Ampharos where it could actually learn Dragon Pulse. And as of this recording, the only other dragon type move Ampharos is capable of learning is Dragon Tail. It was during researching Ampharos' moves that I discovered Claire actually used Ampharos in Pokemon Stadium 2, so back then it even looked like someone designing her team thought Ampharos was a suitable Pokemon for Claire to use. These are the new team ideas I would have for the Johto Gym Leaders. But what do you think? Are these good teams to represent the Johto region in Generation 2? What other Pokemon would you have given them instead? Leave your ideas down below, give a like if you want to see more of this kind of video, and hit subscribe for more.